What's going on, movie fans? My name is Michael Weer. I love talking about movies, and we have made it to April of 2026. And as always on this channel, with a brand new month comes a brand new slate of movies. This video, of course, is in a series that I've been doing for a very long time, where at the beginning of every month, I talk about all of the upcoming movies that are coming out in that particular month. And that's what we're going to do here today. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about all of the upcoming April 2026 movies that I'm excited about. Of course, as always, there could be movies that I leave off of this list, maybe movies that are going to streaming or movies that are going to theaters, but they're limited releases. Maybe it's something that I just have no interest in, like Faces of Death that comes out later this month. That's the only time you'll hear me talk about that movie in this video. But that said, if I don't talk about something that you're excited about, throw it down in the comment section down below. Let me know why you're excited about it and why I should check it out. And finally, guys, if this is the first time you found my channel, well, I would love for you guys to hit that subscribe button, check out all the different content that I have. Whether you like movie reviews, Blu-ray talk, or even ranked list videos, I've got a little bit of everything on my channel, and I'd love for you guys to check it out. All right, let's get into April of 2026 upcoming movie releases.
Here we go.
That is one big pile of shit.
No, I shot him. Bullets in the fall killed him.
Coming out on April 3rd, the first weekend of the month, we have two brand new movies hitting theaters, two movies that I'm very excited about, and as of this recording, I already have my tickets booked for those movies. The first one is called The Drama. This movie stars Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. They both play characters that fall in love with each other, and then as life progresses, things get more and more out of hand. Honestly, most of the trailer just looks like two people who are kind of awkward with each other, who fall in love with each other, and they have an awkward relationship. But man, the last like 30 seconds of this trailer look like everything goes crazy. And honestly, outside the fact that Robert Pattinson stars in this movie, Zendaya stars in this movie, that's what gets me excited about this movie. I want to know what craziness is in this film that they're holding back from us in the previews. So I'm looking forward to The Drama. And the other movie coming out on April 3rd, the big money maker of the weekend, is the Super Mario Galaxy movie. This is a film I plan on taking my wife and kids to. Of course, I took them with me to go see the Mario Brothers movie a couple of years ago. We absolutely loved that movie. We've watched it so many times over in this house on different movie nights with the kids because they love it so much and we love it so much. It's just a fun, lighthearted film, and that's what I'm hoping for out of the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Of course, if you grew up with Nintendo or you grew up playing the Mario games or Super Smash Bros., then these movies will mean that much more to you because they're just fan entertainment, and that's all I want out of this movie. That's all it needs to be. I've seen a lot of critics over the last couple days that got to do early screenings. They went to this movie and they said, it's not that good of a movie. Doesn't have the greatest storyline in a film. And yes, storyline matters to me 99% of the time, but this might be that little 1% of a time where I just want to see characters that I played growing up now on the big screen again, interacting with each other, having fun, cutting up with each other, maybe some action scenes. That's really what I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping Super Mario Galaxy movie is a lot of fun, and I'll be checking it out this weekend. Will you? Next up, got to take a quick break from movies. Got to talk about a TV show that's hitting Amazon Prime on April 8th. I just got to talk about it real fast, and that, of course, would be The Boys. The Boys season 5, to be exact, the final season of The Boys. I'm so very excited about this final season. Listen, I know it's a long shot, but if they don't kill Homelander, I'll be a very happy person. Even if they find a way to strip Homelander of his powers and then put him on an island, or just like make him like, you can't die, but you have to live with the fact that you have no powers, that would be like a poetic ending for Homelander's character. But I don't want him to die. I love that character, even though he's like the most evil character in most shows. Like he's that good. Anyway, that said, I'm very excited to see The Boys season 5. It kicks off on April 8th, and I will be watching it week to week. So very excited about that. Moving on to the second weekend of the month on April 10th, there are two movies that I want to talk about. Both of these movies are going to streaming, and both of these I have to watch as soon as they hit streaming. The first one is called Thrash, and Thrash is a film about a pregnant girl living in a coastal town when a hurricane comes through, floods everything out, but it brings brings with it a bunch of sharks. And so now you've got a shark survival film with people living in a town trying to tread through this water with sharks all around them. Essentially, think of the movie Crawl that came out a couple of years ago, where you had a similar situation where a storm brought all of these gigantic alligators up onto the surface, and now people had to try and get away from these alligators, or were they crocodiles? You get the idea. Essentially, it was people trying to tread through water, which is already kind of creepy, in an environment where there shouldn't be water, and they had to deal with this ferocious animal. And here we are with Thrash doing it again, this time around with sharks. And I love a fun shark movie. I'm hoping for a good time out of Thrash. That movie is going directly to Netflix, and I'm looking forward to it. And the other movie coming out on April 10th and going directly to streaming as well is called Outcome. This movie is going to Apple Plus, and it stars Keanu Reeves, Cameron Diaz, and Jonah Hill, with Jonah Hill also directing the film. And this movie is about Keanu Reeves being a movie star who has a videotape come out about him that makes him confront people from his past while trying to find the person who put the videotape out there, the person that's trying to blackmail him. That's really all I know about the movie. I haven't seen a trailer yet. You can avoid streaming trailers a lot easier than it is to avoid trailers going directly to theaters, but you don't tend to get trailers for streaming films in movie theaters. So again, if you just stay away from them online, you can go on with your day and avoid the trailers. So I haven't seen a trailer for Outcome, but with that cast, with that premise, with Jonah Hill directing, that gets me excited. I'm hoping for a good time out of the movie Outcome. I'm really looking forward to it. That brings us to the third weekend of the month, April 17th, where we have 3 more movies coming out. The first movie is called Bus Boys. Now, as of this recording, this film only has a deal with the Cinemark and Regal cinema chains, so if you don't have one of those near you, you might not be able to watch this, but who knows, maybe by the time this comes out, it'll secure other deals, and so you'll be able to find it at a local theater. But this film is a comedy movie starring Theo Von, David Spade, and Trevor Wallace, and this movie is about these guys becoming waiters to try and solve all of their problems in life. Sounds like a silly comedy. It stars some very funny people, so if I get the chance and it's playing at my local Cinemark, then I will go check this movie out. The second movie coming out on April 17th is not a comedy film, but it does star Bob Odenkirk, and it is an action film, and of course we've seen him in a couple of action roles recently with movies like Nobody and Nobody 2. Again, those were comedy action films, and I thought he did a great job in those films. But this movie is called Normal, and Normal stars Bob Odenkirk as a small Midwestern town sheriff who stops a bank robbery and in the process uncovers a huge conspiracy. Again, we've seen him in action films, so we know Bob Odenkirk can bring the action, and we've seen him in a great dramatic role in shows like Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, so I'm really hoping for the best out of this movie. I want a great blend of that dramatic role that Bob Odenkirk can give us and that action that Bob Odenkirk can give us. That's what I want out of this movie. That's what it's promising to deliver, so I'm hoping for the best out of Normal. That brings me to the third and final movie coming out on April 17th. This film is a horror film called Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Now, I don't know why the director's name is attached to the title of this film, other than the fact that Lee Cronin recently directed Evil Dead Rise, and so maybe they thought, okay, well, people will remember he directed that awesome horror film, that gory horror film, and they'll expect the same out of this The Mummy film. Maybe that also helps them separate from the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies. Of course, that Mummy franchise is getting a 4th entry very soon, so again, maybe it's just their way of distancing themselves from that franchise, showing fans, hey, this is the guy that did Evil Dead Rise. But either way, I'm excited about Lee Cronin's The Mummy. This film is about a journalist's daughter who goes missing one day while they are in Egypt, and then 8 years later at a family reunion, she shows up, but she's not the same anymore. In fact, she is now this horrifying entity of the mummy. And that's really all I know. The trailer looks creepy for this film. The synopsis does it for me. I just want a good mummy movie. I want a scary mummy movie, but I will say I'll put an asterisk by my thoughts for this film because it is a Blumhouse movie, and Blumhouse movies have disappointed me over and over and over recently, so I'm hoping for the best, but we'll see. That brings us to the fourth and final weekend of April, April 24th, where we have 3 more movies coming out. The first movie coming out is called Apex. Apex is a movie starring Charlize Theron, who's a grieving woman in the Australian outback who gets roped into this game of survival with Taron Egerton's character, and so this looks like a bit of a cat and mouse game where he's chasing her throughout this film. She's going to have to fight for herself while she's grieving over something. Again, another streaming movie that I haven't seen a preview for, but just that synopsis alone sounds interesting, and since it's streaming on Netflix, I'll definitely check it out on opening weekend. The second movie coming out on April 24th is called Over Your Dead Body. This is a limited release on April 24th. I hope it's playing in a theater near me because this looks like a lot of fun. The film stars Jason Segel, Samara Weaving, and Timothy Olyphant, and this film is about a couple who goes to a secluded cabin in the woods, supposedly for a nice weekend getaway. But that's not what it turns out to be at all, because this couple is planning on secretly murdering each other while they're at this cabin in the woods, and when they get there to kill each other, well, they run into an even greater problem. And that's really all I know. Again, a movie I've done a great job missing all the trailers for. The synopsis for it does it really well for me. I feel like I've done a good job avoiding trailers recently because trailers give so much away, but that plot synopsis in and of itself sounds like a fun time. Again, I hope this limited release plays near me because I really want to check this one out on opening weekend. Are you excited for Over Your Dead Body? And that brings us to the final movie coming out on April 24th, and the final movie we're going to talk about in this video, and it is the Michael biopic. This film is, of course, the biopic of Michael Jackson, and this film was heavily censored from its original version. It was supposed to come out last year, and then something happened with part of the story they were trying to tell, a story that's not allowed to be told, and so the production company, they had to go back and they had to refilm this movie, reframe this movie, change a lot of things up, and so now we are getting the Michael biopic on April 24th. I've got to be honest, I'm not the biggest biopic fan. I'm also not the biggest fan of Michael Jackson's music. Sure, everybody loves Thriller around Halloween, but just for me personally, I've never been the biggest fan of Michael Jackson. And if you've been watching my channel at all over the years, you know anytime I talk about music biopics, I feel like you have to take everything with a gigantic grain of salt when it comes to musicians' biopics, because the families or the rights holders always want to paint the musicians in the absolute best light. And so will they show some of the controversial things about Michael Jackson? Were those the things that were kept out of the original cut of this film? Likely that is the case. So will we get the full picture when it comes to a Michael Jackson biopic? Probably not. And even if we do, will he be painted in this perfect light like we've seen so many other musicians painted in their biopics? That's why for me, this movie is one that I wanted to talk about here today, because I know a ton of people are going to go see this movie. I know a ton of people are excited about this film. A lot of people love Michael Jackson's music. They love the story of Michael Jackson, so they want to go see this movie. So I wanted to talk about it here today, but it isn't one that I'm necessarily going to check out on opening weekend. I suppose if I have the time, maybe I'll check it out, but otherwise I'll probably skip this one personally. How about you? Are you excited about the Michael Jackson biopic? Are you less excited because you know that they had to change it last year because there were some things they weren't allowed to talk about? Or does that make you more excited to see which way they go with the Michael Jackson story? Let me know all of your thoughts about this movie in particular in that comment section down below. And guys, those are all of the upcoming April 2026 movies that I'm personally excited about. Again, these are the movies on my radar, so if I missed something, throw it down in the comment section down below. Let me know why you're excited about it and why I should check it out. And finally, guys, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button because it helps the video, it helps the channel, and it helps me right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Alright guys, we got to the end of my April upcoming movies video. I love making these videos talking about my anticipation for the films that are coming out in the upcoming month, and I hope I gave you a little bit more excitement about upcoming movies. Maybe I talked about something that you weren't aware of, whether it's going to streaming or it's going to theaters, and so now you're going to try and check it out in April. I love that these videos can do that. And of course, throughout the month of April, I'll be doing quick reactions for all the brand new movies that I see, and I'll be posting those reactions on both TikTok and YouTube, so make sure you're subscribed to both of those channels. And of course, after my quick reactions, I'll be doing full movie reviews for as many of these movies as I can throughout the month, so be on the lookout for all of that content. And in the meantime, if you want to check out any of the other content on my channel, well, I've got all of my best and worst of 2026 so far right there, and I've got all of my 2026 movie reviews right there.